Hey guys, and welcome to how to play your light tanks. Today I'm going to be using the Walker Bulldog, but I may show you a couple of little things with the epicICYL just because I don't want this to be really one-dimensional. I'm most likely going to show you two replays. This one is an ace, and I'm not going to go over, all the dimensions of the individual tanks. It's not about that. It's about the play style. So the thing to remember with your light tanks, especially with the Walker Bulldog and things like that, T37, is for a start the Walker Bulldog has ridiculous view range. Let's pause this straight off the bat. So if you look down here, the view range is almost right to the edge of my render distance anyway. So this tells me I don't need binos. Also, the fact that I don't need binos means that I can carry other things. I think on this tank I run oil, vents, and it's either a rammer or a lane drive, one of the two, depending, I guess, on what's available on the autoloader here. Now, I suggest running the autoloader is extremely worth it on this tank. Now, not because it's particularly a better gun, although in my opinion it is a bit of a better gun, it's because it makes you play the way the Walker Bulldog does need to be played. So, it basically makes you back off when you want. You never want to be a frontline combatant in this tank. Any light tank. You see people rushing across the map, that is how you get yourself killed. So the idea is, be aware of camo, be aware of foliage, be aware of putting something between you and the opponent. If you manage to do some spotting, try and back off from a bush, unless you feel that there's, factors, i.e. you may be trying to spot down a heavy route and you feel like the heavies won't be there yet. Such as me here, I decided to put a couple of side shots on this boy because I feel like I'm probably okay to stay up there to an extent. I do try and back off now because I would suggest that most of their heavies are going to be going up there and probably 1, useless, 2, horrible aim time, and 3, may not even be in a position to shoot me yet. So I'm trying to use this bush. Obviously this is a powerful position on this map. Now, this AMX, I realised that he actually could be a problem for me, so I put 2 nice shots into him. I'm considering reloading now, but not 100% sure that it's what I should be doing. But you see how I'm using this ridge. I'm not playing overly aggressive, although I am doing some really top spotting so far for my team. Now, because I'm not sure whether I should reload or not, I put a couple of random shots into that bush. If he's in there, great, I'll hit him. Otherwise, it gives me a reason to reload, basically. Obviously, I'm a little bit concerned about the hill here. I'm wondering why these guys and these guys aren't bothered with the hill. The MT25 is actually a good counterpart to me here, so we're spotting both ends, which is actually quite nice. It's quite pleased that he did that. He clearly actually does know what he's doing. Now, I've just spotted that Nashorn. I've also realised that there's a T34 up there. He's a bit of a problem, but we're not too worried about him. We've got lots of bushes around us still, and if I keep on backing up into this bush, I can switch from bush to bush and spot here and there. So here I decide I'm going to move up to this ridge because they seem to have a lot of heavy tanks here. They can't have too many here, right? They can't have too many. And I've only seen a 12-ton, an ARL, T29, and a T37, and none of them tanks really bother me. So I'm trying to use this ridge. Probably, he might have the ability to spot me there, but it's all about thinking as well. What are the tank that I'm going after? What's their view range? How can I stay on the edge of it? This ARL in particular, I could probably shoot him out in the open. He probably wouldn't be able to see me. That's just a fact. That's how the game works. So in a light tank, always be thinking about mechanics. Get a couple of nice shots on the side of him here. Reduce his health a little bit. Want to go up the hill to get a couple more shots on, but I'm worried that 12-ton will spot me. And then, the T37 might be able to put a few good shots on me or something like that. Nashorn disappears. I fire a couple blind. In hindsight, I actually must have been a little bit distracted because I'm not actually firing exactly where the Nashorn was. But you see, I'm holding down this position, and if there were heavy tanks on top of that hill, no, I'd be out of here. And I'm not wasting my health. I cannot take shots. That's not something that you can do. You cannot trade shots in this tank, and as soon as your track is damaged in the light tank, you're crippled. And I would suggest, just as a word of advice, if your track is damaged and you think you have a chance of winning the game, and it's right near the end of the game, only a couple of tanks left on the other team, you haven't used your repair kit, just use it. Give yourself that extra speed and mobility. That's what I would do. I play light tanks a lot. I find I'm quite successful at playing light tanks, and I enjoy them. I enjoy them a lot. I do. They are the most fun, in my opinion, on the game. So here I'm going after the heavies. I figured, one, I can spot them. Two, you know, these rather passive heavy tanks I have up my ass can maybe start doing something. Obviously don't want to take a hit from this T29, so I'm ducking and weaving. See what I can get away with. Get into the rock under his gun depression. I luck out and don't hit it there. And I don't actually notice he doesn't have the top gun there. It's not for a second that I noticed this. And that could have been more dangerous for me as a light tank, the fact that he's got that gun. He's got higher DPM. But I decided to go after him. I'm gonna make him pay for what he's doing, and for basically being alive. So I go after him, and I figure I can get up his bum, but then I see him here. I take a shot, track the guy. I know his gun depression's alright, but at that angle he's going to struggle, so only when I go forward he's going to get me. So just getting the retrack, you know, just playing smart here, trying not to get shot. I could just sit there, but I would have taken another hit unnecessarily. And one more, and he's out of the game. So there goes a T29 and 979 damage into him in 7 shots. That's what's so powerful about the Walker Bulldog. Now, if you are using an autoloader, you know, only engage individual targets, as I did there. Even in a city map, I would suggest sitting back. I would not be aggressive at all. And here I'm letting them know, you know, I'm reloading. There's only so much I can do at this point. I can keep them spotted for you, but there's not a lot else. So now I'm going to pause it again. Light tank, what am I thinking? Where am I going? Always have a plan. So there's this little indent in the ground right across the edge here, and I don't want to get spotted by this 12-ton. So I'm going to try and put this. I'm trying to put the rock that's here between me and the 12-ton here. Between me and these guys while spotting the 12-ton. I think the Black Prince gets initial spots on the 12-ton, but I play it quite nicely to respot the guy. So if you watch here, I'm coming up. I thought I spotted him, but in hindsight he wouldn't have disappeared because he disappears. So yeah, here we go. I'm thinking, great, put some stuff between me and him. I might have spotted him just before that bush actually. And so he's not going to spot me. Fire one blind there, that should probably hit. Now I'm going to go for the respot. Boom. See you later, Frenchie. Alright, so I got half my clip left. A few sizable tanks on the other team. I decided to reload. I feel like it's probably best because I don't think many of them are low health in particular, and we've really started to turn this game now. We were losing before, and we're really starting to get on top of it, really turn this game around using, you know, the fact I'm pretty sure that most of what we've seen or spotted this game has not even seen us back, with the exception of T37, obviously that T29 who was having a very, very unlucky day. Well, unlucky to come against someone who knows what they're doing in a Walker Bulldog, because the tank is it's a strong tank. So we're going to roll on down this little valley bit, like I discussed. There's lots of cover, so I don't need to be too careful at first. And one more pause here. Now, my eyes are purely on my render distance here. So my render distance is here. My spotting distance is here. And this is without binos, so remember, you know, there's no point having binos because you'll only get like an extra 20 meters or something rubbish. So I'm going to try and edge on to each of these dots, and this is a nice mod. You know, all mods are illegal, but this is one that more or less everybody used. Actually, this might be in the game as standard now. I'm not sure on that because I've always just used the mods. But yeah, I'm going to try and edge each individual target into my sights as I kill them. So the center meal is my first target here. So I try and find a bush where the edge of my spotting range is sort of, you know, comparable to where he should be. I find this lovely convenient bush and I don't spot him. I spot the T150. But that's fine. I put a couple of shots into the side of his turret. Lovely, free damage. Thank you, Mr. T150. You know, will you please stop licking your chin just long enough to put a shot into somebody on our team? But no. Okay, so we've got 3 shots left. Back off. Reload. Tell the team, 33 seconds left, lads. It's gonna, you know, just keep as I say, the cover here is very important. I'm putting cover between me and them. I'm remembering his spotting range. Obviously, if I'm sitting in a bush, my camo rating is lessened. But, like, I mean, when I'm firing, rather. But his spotting range is never going to get me, no matter how obvious I am. I could have a cowboy hat on, and I could be ringing a fucking bell, and a Russian is not going to know that I'm there. Try and put a quick shot onto this boy. Doesn't penetrate. Try to put another one. You know, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have fired all of these, but if you see I've left enough to kill a full health Nashorn in my head with average damage rolls, I think, you know, full health Nashorn with average damage rolls, I should be able to do it in about 6 shots. I think 150 is the average alpha on this thing. Stuff like that is what you got to think about. That separates you from people who have no idea what they're doing in a light tank. So I've thought about that, and I've been able to take that center meal down with one. I always call them Saint, by the way. I know they're Stura meal, but I call it center meal, or I call it a Hesky. So that's basically the end of my game there. You know, I reload heat here because I realise how low I am on ammunition, but I don't fire any more shots for the rest of the game, and it was a bloody good game. You know, I probably did a little more damage than the 3,100 it says, but let's go to the after battle report and see what we have. Okay, so carry hat well and truly on for that one. You know, just playing to my tank's strengths, just playing to the enemy's weaknesses, their lack of view range, my excellent view range, you know, all that kind of thing, really. It's simple mechanics. Even got a cheeky bit of base capture, because why the hell not? But obviously, you know, that's an ace tanker game. It was a good game, got lots and lots of damage, fire for effect, fighter, bruiser, high caliber. You know, pretty nice to get the high caliber, which is good in my little light tank. 3,400 odd damage and 1,400 odd base. So again, you know, that's a good little performance there. Quite pleased with that. Yeah, really managed to take advantage of the bushes, of the undulation, of the fact I have good camo rating, of my auto loader, you know, backing off when I need to it, and then being very aggressive, like against that T29 when I needed to. It's all about playing smart, really. Obviously, there's a little bit of profit in that. 1.2k spotting damage as well on top of it. So on to game 2. It's going to be the ELC AMX. And yeah, I'll see you there. So game 2 now. I was thinking about showing you my tier 8 game where I got a Top Gun in my AMX ELC and did, I think it was about 3,500 damage. But I thought, you know what? I'm not making this video just to show off and be like, you know, oh, I'm good in light tanks and all that. I thought, to show you a game where I'm a completely different kind of player. I am an absolute spotter in this game. You know, I mean, I do play some little aggressive plays and try and nick a little bit of health here and there off of the opponents, but I wanted to show you a different style of gameplay. So obviously, you know, the AMX ELC, a couple of tiers lower, only 400 health. I can get one shot by a lot of things in this game, which is not my prerogative. I do not want to get one shot. So on a little enclosed map like this, I could go well out into the open, but the same thing is, the same danger is there as to if I was into the close quarters combat. So I'm just going to sit here, spot, let things unfold, see what happens. Now I don't know how, but apparently like 2 or 3 heavy tanks have passed by my view range there. Obviously that big trundly fella doesn't get spotted straight away. That tree is always a bit of an issue. But I'm just going to stay here again. You know, I haven't really got anything to lose. Still fire a shot at this KV2, and yeah, horribly straight into the tracks. I decided to get out of there, just in case I'm spotted. Just, you know, get out, reposition. And this is something with the ELC AMX. Unless you're going to spot and then roll back and then take a shot again, and then take a shot and then get back into the bush and respot, then you're going to need to run away a lot. But that's fine, it's low profile enough, you know. And some light tanks, that's how you play them. The AMX ELC, I like to rumble binos, so I like to be in bushes quite a lot. The standard view range is not actually that ridiculous. Tier for tier, it's very good. But, you know, as far as light tanks go, if you're more used to the higher tiered light tanks, then, you know, it's not so good. The aim time is horrendous. But, yeah, so I can clearly go up and try and nick some health off of somebody up here. So I'm going up behind them. And this is a game where everything that could go wrong does go wrong. So yeah, extremely frustrating there. It's a tank that you have to pop up, bang, pop down, but the aim time is horrible. So it's a balancing factor in the AMX ELC. But I decide to hold my ground. You know, I know the Cromwell's not going to want to take a hit from me, so sort of play a little bit of peekaboo here. And this is a technique that's quite dangerous in the light tank, obviously. I wouldn't advise getting yourself into these situations, but then I'm always looking behind myself, and I always have a clear route of escape. So that's fine. In the ELC, AMX, and similar tanks, always think to yourself, where's my escape route? How can I get out of here? You know. So I'm well aware that if that IS dies, then I'm gonna get kind of engulfed. So I go and do a little fakey round here, and I see the Cromwell, always being aware of the enemy, is going around there. So yay, 3 shots into anuses. So I am going to work my way back around, try and get some anus shots, and again, you know, everything that could go wrong does go wrong for me. So this IS that I could have got a nice little chunk of damage out of, gets shot by somebody else and left on 1 hit point. Fair enough, I got the kill, but in all honesty, I would quite like a good chunk of damage. So I end this game with like no damage done. But then again, it's a spotter game, it's a different kind of play really. So here you go, he's going to get left on 1 health. And this game probably has one of the most entertaining ends of any game. I was literally, if there was coal in my arse, it would have fallen out a diamond. So here's a good thing, you know, low profile. These are slow, shitty tanks, these two, so fuck it, I'll just get in there. Now another tip here, keep cover between you and your opponents. I should have gone left and dived into those houses, because that shot there is going to haunt me later on in the game when I can't actually trade even 1 shot with anything. I should have dived into there, but I was afraid of getting stuck. You know, and essentially if I'd have got stuck and found by the HTC, then I might have got the Cromwell shooting me as well, and that would have guaranteed me death. So I was like, got to get out of here, and he might miss. So yeah, different style of play here. A lot of driving, a lot of spotting. I see that their team appears to be clustered here. Now bear in mind that, you know, we've only got a couple of artillery left, and they have all like proper tanks left. So I see them all clustered down here. So I'm going to go around here. I'm going to take the low road as well. Take the low road around the left-hand side here, because again, you know, always thinking low profile tank, I won't get spotted if someone is up on that little ledge up there. So, or even if I do, they can't shoot me, but yeah, not necessarily going to actually see me. So I see my team dying one by one here, and it's extremely frustrating. So that's again partly why I've gone round. So I need to get shot into this IS is my plan. He's low health, he's 22% health. If I had a very high roll, I could actually kill him in 1 shot. So I'm spotted, aiming. So there, yeah, I left him on 4% hit points. Again, everything that could go wrong does go wrong this game. You know, a little bit of a higher roll, a little bit of luck, and that would have been quite useful for the team. So I back off there before going across the open bit. I actually meant to point that out a little more. So I back off and then go across the open bit. So I'm going a little bit faster, a little bit harder to hit. And then it's all about wiggling and trying to keep things between me and this IS here. So yeah, this game has been quite intense for me at the moment. A lot of spotting, a lot of bad luck. It's quite frustrating. Artillery nearly fucking hits me here. So at the moment, I'm thinking, let's get on top of that hill. See that actually, I think it damages me for a tiny bit of health. I'm like, let's get on top of this hill, let's slow the game down, let's spot, because, you know, we've got an artillery left, we've got 2 artillery left, we've got an SU-100 who, I don't know, this was one of the worst teams I think I'd ever had. And that, my friends, is why light tanks rock. My tracks just ate that shot from that Cromwell, which would have definitely killed me. So yeah, here's this different style of play. Slow the game down. You don't have to keep driving. You don't have to go, oh, driving everywhere, fucking, I'm a light tank, I've got to be here, I've got to be there, I've got to be everywhere. No, slow down, get your binos up. You know, I'm spotting for this Dickermax. This Dickermax has decided to hide behind like 50 buildings, so he's not going to spot anything. So I'm sitting here like, okay, I'll spot for the Dickermax, no one will see me, and I'll just sit here for a bit And hopefully, hopefully they'll come towards us and we'll see them, and the Dickomax and I will manage to turn this game around. Because, again, as I say, we kind of do have 3 massive tomatoes at spawn. And that Dickomax isn't the best player in the world, although, he does the right thing here. He does the right thing for this particular game, I suppose. So here's where, my shot on that IS earlier is going to come in handy, because I get to put another shot in him here. Or do I? As I said, everything that could go wrong does go wrong this game, which is why I wanted you to show it, just how I cope with things, and how even when things are going horribly wrong, this is how your light tank can sort of get through it, really, just by, again, using the view range. Binos on this, slightly lower tier, obviously, so I'm desperate for my binos to come up, and just luckily he is just in the spotting distance for my binos when I spot him. So I'm waiting for the aim time. God, please. Yes! Take him out. Excellent. So now Dickomax is capping. Now their KB2 is capping, obviously an immensely dangerous tank for a tank like mine. But I know I need to reset this cap. The low profile nature of my tank will make me hard to hit, especially if he fires up at me. I can't allow him to splash me, so if he's firing towards me on this open platform, he cannot splash me. This is what I'm thinking at this stage. Take a shot, miss. Obviously the aim time is horrible. I've got to have some real, Starling has got to be with me, and I am French, so Starling's probably not really that friendly with me. Take another shot. Oh my gosh, bounces off the mantlet. Now I'm very aware at this point, if that Cromwell joins the cap, then I am fucked. So I am loading HE, playing to this gun's strength, if my HE will do some good damage. I miss again. This is horrible. 23 seconds left. Is the Cromwell? Oh my gosh, my worst nightmare has been realised. The Cromwell has run into the cap, and I'm like, fuck it, YOLO, all or nothing. I need to sit here. I'm going to load. Lucky he's not looking at me. Why the hell he's not looking at me, I don't know. He could have won the game. And oh my gosh, I've hit him and reset the cap. They're all saying draw, and now they're all saying nice. Good job, AMX. Thank you very much. I have got myself killed. Celebratory suicide. Thank you very much. Let's go to the after game report. I decided not to see any after battle report. It was nothing amazing, but yeah, I hope this really helps you. Please like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want. It really helps me get more views going forward, and tell your friends if you enjoyed it or if it helped you. Thank you.